Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you my hair care routine and hopefully give you some insight on how I grew my hair out, on how I've kept it healthy, prevented breakage, and most importantly, just learning how to give yourself a little bit of self-care before you go to bed, because it has a profound impact on your mental state if you are practicing self-care, whatever kind of grooming it is. So I'd like to show you how I go from this. If you want your hair to look like this, maybe I'll make more videos. I sleep with my hair in these really tight braids, and last night I put a little bit of argan oil in them, and I'm going to show you the result it has as I take the braids out. So bear with me as I undo an insane amount of braids. I have really long bangs, so being able to braid the bangs back and out of my face is a really big deal. And I'll show you how I do that. Some of these braids are really tight, so just gotta give it a little bit extra time. Where we've got the front part. Look at that. That's healthy, elastic. Most people don't know this, but hair is elastic. So if you're not stretching it by braiding it and giving it oil and giving it a little bit of give, it's a lot more prone to breakage, because the strongest something can be is when it's a little rubbery. You know, if it's too tough, it becomes brittle and prone to breaking. But if it's rubbery and gummy or elastic, it's a lot stronger and it resists that breakage by just giving a little bit of bend instead. Braiding your hair can really activate its elasticity. And other people don't know this, but after braiding your hair really tight specifically, it is going to look a little bit longer, especially near the end. And that's because you really are testing its elasticity. Almost done. And this is my hair right after taking it out of the braids. It's springy, it has volume. I put some oil in it last night, but you can't tell because it wasn't very much. Just a little bit goes a long way, especially at the ends because they were really dry. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how I can give it even that much more volume by brushing it out with a comb. And I'm also going to section off the parts of my bang that I'm going to use to braid back. Because unless you have bangs already, this kind of bang is going to really make your life hell if you don't know how to deal with it. So you see this? I'm just going to do a twist. You know, a lot of trans women have to essentially completely teach themselves how to do their hair. Most of us are not taught at a young age how to take care of our hair, much less how to take care of ourselves in general. So, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. I'd love to be able to help at least one person have a better relationship with their hair. Because, you know, trans people usually have a very difficult relationship with their hair, whether it be because they're trying to grow it out, or maybe they're dyeing it a lot, and usually you're dyeing it at home, and it's really easy to damage your hair when you dye it yourself. Not that you always will, but it's just important to be careful, especially if you want to grow your hair out, because if you're bleaching your hair and you're not taking care of it, you will not be able to grow it out. You just won't. Breakage is real, and so many people bleach their hair and do all this stuff to it without actually giving it anything back, you know? Every time you bleach it, you completely strip it of its natural oils and its natural moisture. The same thing happens when you wash it. That's why when you get hair this long, you don't want to wash it every day. I actually only wash my hair about once a week. Otherwise, I just rinse it. And one way I'm able to keep it from getting greasy is I try not to touch it, and keeping it in braids at night actually really helps. Hair at this length wants to be braided. It also wants to be brushed, so try to brush it when you can. I want to compare the size of hair now that I've brushed this side out. So, this versus this. There's a pretty big difference. And this is the only difference is that this is brushed out. And it's actually not even that frizzy because I used oil on it. So now we're going to brush out this side. I plan on doing a more in-depth hair video in the future, but for now I'm just going to show you my routine with it. But there are a lot of tips and tricks I could tell you, but the main thing is that if you're trying to grow out your hair, my first bit of advice is start braiding it. Stop using the small little hair ties, use scrunchies instead. Don't break your hair. If you're putting your hair up a lot, I suggest instead of doing buns and ponytails, try to just clip it back, maybe braid it back, because all those updos and everything, they actually do hurt your hair if you're making them really tight, or if you're using the wrong kind of hair tie, or if you're just doing it too much, you know. Throughout quarantine, and I'm not saying that if you do this, you're going to damage your hair or ruin it, by the way. I'm just saying it's not going to help. Over quarantine, I took really bad care of my hair because I was in a really deep depression. But, you know, it's still here. It's still okay. And yours will be too, as long as you're not actively damaging it, you know. If you're doing what I did to your hair and you're bleaching it, you're probably not going to be able to grow it out. But there are ways to do everything, you know. There are right ways and wrong ways, and I'm just showing you my way. And I like to brush out my hair once in a while like this because not only does it give me volume, but it really does make a lot of a difference when it comes to tangling, because my hair does tangle. But when I braid it like this, it's a lot less prone to tangling. Alright, now that's both sides. I'm going to show you without my bangs. Now I'm just going to, while I braid back, I'm just going to put my hair in a low side pony and let it rest for a second. And I'm not doing a tight pony. I'm just doing a little one with a scrunchie so that I do not stress it out at all. So this side of bang is going to be one braid, and this side is going to be the other. And then we're just going to do that. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to brush it out, brush it tight. And you can even put, this hair is looking a little dry, so I'm going to take one squirt of oil, just one, and only put it at the end. Because it can have a really profound impact on the strength of the hair as it comes out of the braid. You know, especially the longer your hair gets, the less likely it is to actually retain oil. And you want your hair to have oil in it, otherwise it's just going to get frizzy. It's not quite evenly spread out, so just try your best. Sometimes I like to do this. In order to get all your hair going the same way, you can grab it and start twisting it really tight. This is another trick I learned to help braid. You know, the hardest part about braiding isn't the actual motion of it. It's separating the hair so that it doesn't get caught on itself. But if you twist all of one section of hair in the same direction and the other hair in another direction, it will naturally stay that way. Also, if it's frizzy like my hair is, twist it like this and just hold it there. Hold it there for a little. Look at that. And then, when it comes out, it'll be a little more manageable. Another trick I have for braiding easily is the oldest trick in the book, but a lot of trans people need a little bit of help. So what you do is you hold each strand in between your knuckles. And your knuckles do all the work. You see this? And then, once you have it started like this, it's really easy to go fast. And I recommend only braiding as tight as you're comfortable with. Some people braid so tight that their hair is tugging on itself, and it's just not comfortable. The point of this is to be comfortable. So whatever that means to you. To some people, braiding their hair isn't comfortable at all, and then I wouldn't do it. But the reason I do it is because I'm just sick of my hair tangling, and at night, putting them in really tight braids like this has really made an impact on its health. Because I've had healthy hair my whole life, but in quarantine I stopped taking care of it, and it became a lot more dry, a lot less healthy, a lot more prone to tangle. And I'm sick of that, I'm just sick of it. I have long hair, and I want to take care of it. So hopefully, at least one person who's watching this can maybe learn something. Because I had to teach myself all of this. I wouldn't know anything about my hair if not for YouTube. Young trans girls especially, they have to learn basically everything about femininity on their own, because a lot of the time they're discouraged from learning about it. Their mom doesn't want them to be trans, or their sister won't teach them, or and this is the kind of kin education that trans girls are all missing. So I hope I can help a little bit with that. And I like to braid real tight, especially for my bang braids, because I don't actually put a hair tie on these, because once you braided it really tight, it'll slowly come undone throughout the day. But if it's as big as this one, it's never going to completely come undone. And it's okay if up to here it becomes undone, because really, you don't need a braid this long. Nobody does, but I just like the way it looks. It's also, I'm not going to lie, it's really satisfying to feel and look at a really tight braid. Part of the reason I do it is just because it's soothing to do. It's soothing to look at. And I'm going to leave a little bit at the end like this. You can put a hair tie on it if you want. I'm not going to. And I'm just going to clip it back. Nice. Now, I'm going to do the same with this one. One, you're going to try to do equal sections. One, and then the second section you're going to divide in half. And you're going to go farthest on either end. You're going to put them together. And then you're going to start your braid like that. If you don't start the braid that way, it'll start lopsided, and one of the strands is going to end up shorter than the others, and it's just not going to be a comfortable braid. And I've learned, with how long I've been doing braids, it's just better to have a loose and comfortable braid than a tight braid that tugs on your hair, because nobody wants that. It can give you a tension headache. It can give you tension alopecia if you hold your braids too tight, or if you hold your ponytail or bun too tight. So just, treat your hair with love and respect, and then it will love you. It's a soothing motion after a while. once you get the motion of braiding, it's really hard to explain it because it's kind of just something that you have to get. But once you get it, it's very easy. It took me a while to learn, and I can do a more in-depth tutorial of how to braid if anyone's interested in that, but it really is everywhere online. So I just wanted to show you a more personalized routine of mine because, you know, why try to recreate? Why not try to be an original? And I really like braiding back my bangs like this because I'm just sick of having my hair in my face. It's always in my face. Having your hair in your face will make you break out. It'll make you touch it more. And if you touch your hair a lot, it gets greasy and then it wants to be washed more. So, again, my advice, braid it at night. Give it some oil when it needs it. And wash it as infrequently as possible. Brush it out occasionally, not too often. And then when you have your braids done, and then we're just going to there's nothing worse than having your hair all done, but it ends up putting tension on your head. Because I love to do my hair, but I get tension headaches really easily. Like, I really like headbands too, but I have the same problem with them. Alright, and now, this is my hair for the day. So this is a little morning hair routine. It's pretty easy if I do say so myself. And I think it's very nice. If you want your hair, somebody just started mowing out there, so I'm going to cut this video short. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it, and leave me a comment if you want to see anything else or more next time. Please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell because it really does help. I'm trying to keep up the content, but hopefully I can get more comments than just people who hate my Dave Chappelle videos. Thank you. Have a good day.